Welcome back to Indians Minor League Magazine, presented by Hyundai. Roass Atkins joins us now. Ross, great to see you. And let's start off asking you about Todd Hankins. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you guys nailed him. Yeah, Tony obviously did a good job of with his homework, and it's a very good snapshot that you painted. A great young man that we want nothing but the best for. And as Jason stated, when you have Francisco Lindor and Robel Garcia and Tony Wolters and Ronnie Rodriguez running around in your A-ball middle infields, you know, your opportunity, you're going to have to earn every at-bat that you get, and because he's a little bit older, but he is an interesting young player for all the reasons you stated.
No, Francisco Lindor, you brought him up. That's the guy every week we talk about. People email us about him. Everybody wants to know about him. And Jason and I said, I mean, this kid is about as smooth as it gets, both defensively and offensively. He seems to come every bit as advertised as the Indians' #1 pick.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, I could talk all day about him. I think, you know, when you think about, you know, prospects and you look at the caliber of the player and how you're going to help a player from a player development standpoint, for the bulk of them and the bulk of the prospects, you're thinking about how can we help this player be good enough, contribute to a major league team? How can we help this person realize their potential? And in the case of a Francisco Lindor, you're thinking about, okay, how do we make sure this player becomes as great as he can be, and how do we help him realize all of his potential, because there's not much that he doesn't have the potential of doing. Now, you know, he's got a long way to go. There is the youth is definitely one of the reasons we're so excited, but there's also a lot of at bats and a lot of reps and a lot of seasoning to come. And this is the first time he's ever had more than 150 plate appearances. Well, he hasn't had 100 yet, unless you count, or 150 unless you count spring training and instructional league. But you know, this is the first time in his life he's had this much playing time in a short period of time, and we're only, you know, a quarter into the season. So, but you're right. He's smooth. The game does come a little bit easier to him than it does to most.
Tony Wolters is the next guy I think that we all like too, because it looks like Lindor and Wolters are going to be coming up through the system. Wolters is already a little higher than him, only because you want him playing second base and shortstop. Explain, you know, the theory of where Tony is right now and how far he can get.
Yeah, you know, Tony, it's you know, as we made decisions for each of those players, we thought about where they were from a maturity standpoint, where they are from a priority standpoint, where they are in their development, what they could handle defensively, offensively, and then, you know, where they are physically and mentally in the process. And we felt as though Tony was a little bit more seasoned in that he's been with us for a year and a half, and, you know, now had gone through at least the calendar of a full season and felt like he could handle that push. He's extremely strong, very athletic individual, and can play short, can play second, is very comfortable at second base. That transition's been easy for him, and from the left-hand side of the plate, there's plenty of strength there, and now it's refining his approach.
You know, staying with the middle infielders too, Russ, so one of the guys that we've been talking about a little bit the last year or two is Ronnie Rodriguez, good defensive player. I think you'd like his bat to come along a little bit better, but your scouting report on him and where he's at right now.
Yeah, Ronnie is an exceptionally talented player as well. You know, you look at he and Francisco Lindor. I think Francisco has an edge from a pedigree, from a strength standpoint. The fact that he's a switch hitting player, and but Ronnie does a lot of things very well himself. He has an exceptional arm. He has good hands. He plays with a little bit of flair that we'd like to maybe see a little bit less of from time to time. But you know, that reckless abandon can serve him well from time to time, and you'll see exceptional things. There's power in his bat, and now he's the type of player that player development can really help. And hopefully, you know, we're able to do that. Hopefully, we're able to put him onto a path that creates for more consistency in his game.
Robel Garcia, a third baseman right now with a lot of raw power, 19 years old though, and a switch hitter that has a lot of upside if you allow him to develop. Where does he fit in the picture with your organization? Because you've got a lot of young kids all in the mix.
Yeah, and the reason he's played third is because of all those other players. He's playing second every day now in Lake County, and he's played shortstop, and he'll be in the middle of the diamond. He's a switch-hitting 19-year-old prospect, as you stated. The thing that stands out about Robel is he has no fear of making mistakes. He really plays the game with that type of confidence. Now, it hasn't translated into a ton of consistency. He's made some errors, but the errors he makes them aggressively. He makes them trying to make an exceptional double play, trying to turn 2 outs into, or 1 out into 2. And he has some ease and comfort that he doesn't look like a 19-year-old player on the diamond. He really does look like a guy who's been standing on the baseball field for a long time. exceptional offensive year a year ago, and he's off to a little bit slower start. And you know, the climate of Ohio will have a tendency to do that to a young player from the Dominican Republic, but he's a talented player. There's a lot to get excited about in the middle of our infield depth.
You know, we've talked a lot about the Class A guys. Let's go up to AAA, Ross. A guy that a lot of people, again, have asked us about is Cord Phelps because they saw him here last year. I think the bat development was very good. He struggled when he was here at the major league level defensively at second base. How's he coming now at AAA? I know the average is nice, around 275, 280. Where's his defensive development?
You know, Cord's, he's been consistent. His progress has been consistent. His performance has been consistent. I think, you know, he's dealt with overcoming obstacles his entire career, and I think this is the next one for him, is overcoming that hurdle of AAA to the major leagues. And, you know, when you look at him objectively and subjectively, he doesn't scream that he's going to be the next second baseman for some time to come for the Cleveland Indians. But throughout his life, throughout his career, he has continued to prove people wrong. So, you know, ultimately what, you know, people think objectively and subjectively about a player's ability, you know, is probably only right 50% of the time, and,
Right.
and those are professional opinions. So, you know, and we are very hopeful that Cord Phelps becomes an everyday second baseman, and he every year is a little bit better. And I think offensively, you know, he's made some good adjustments. Defensively, as I said, I mean, the progress is at a good professional rate, and we couldn't, you know, pull harder for any other player than we pull for him because of his consistency and his work ethic.
Ross, love your analysis, love your honesty on these guys. Always a great show when you stop by. Let's do it again very soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks,
You
Ross.
got it. Ross Atkins joining us here on Indians Minor League Magazine.